Hello, and welcome to the role of immunity. I'm so glad to have you joining me today. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Jerry Whalen of Zionsville Holistic Chiropractic and Wellness Center. I have dedicated over 40 years of my life to chiropractic care in hopes of giving patients the assistance I received at the age of 16. My miracle story is on my website, zionsvillechiropractor.com. With decades of experience in chiropractic care and holistic wellness, I have practiced in this office for 11 years. I specialize in a four-pronged approach to care, which includes gentle, exact chiropractic adjustments, proper nutrition, recommendations of homeopathic remedies to balance body chemistry, and lastly, a very powerful system to release damaging emotional stress and tension called the neuroemotional technique. Long before my days at Zionsville Holistic Chiropractic and Wellness Center, I obtained a degree from Palmer College of Chiropractic, where I took over 4,000 hours of education and training. Palmer was the first chiropractic college, which was founded in Davenport, Iowa. I want you to know the information presented is expressly intended for educational purposes only. Health-related information provided here is not a substitute for medical advice. Statements have not been approved by the FDA and do not claim to treat or diagnose any disease. So what is the immune system? The immune system is a complex network of cells and organs that defend the body against all types of infection. The main part of the immune system are white blood cells, antibodies, what's called the complement system, the lymphatic system, spleen, bone marrow, and thymus. So the immune system is a silent defender. You can hear and feel the beating of your heart, so you know it's working. The immune system, however, is silent. Even though we are much less aware of our immune system, it is working 24 hours, 7 days a week, protecting us from thousands of potentially deadly attacks every day. Let's examine the different lines of defense used by the immune system to protect us. The first line of defense is known as innate immunity. This is a range of protective mechanisms we're all born with. The innate immune system provides non-specific protection against various pathogens such as viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoans, and worms. A number of defense mechanisms serve the innate immune system, which include physical barriers such as the skin, chemical barriers such as antimicrobial proteins that harm or destroy invaders, and cells that attack foreign cells and body cells harboring infectious agents. Before moving on to the second line of defense, let's delve a little deeper into the defense mechanisms of innate immunity. So we have protective barriers. The skin is an external barrier made from layers of cells serving as a protective barrier to infection. Not only does skin provide a protective barrier to keep invaders out, but it also secretes fatty acids and enzymes. The fatty acid oleic acid can kill certain bacteria, while the enzyme lysozyme can break down the outer wall of certain bacteria as well. Internally, mucous membranes lining of the respiratory, gastrointestinal, and genital urinary tracts provide a protective barrier of cells that are constantly being renewed. The membranes trap small particles to prevent them from attaching to cells. Another crucial aspect of innate immunity is chemical barriers to infection. When microbes penetrate the body's protective layers and enter the internal tissues, they encounter a variety of chemical substances that attempt to prevent their growth. There are many mechanisms in cells by which chemicals work to harm or destroy invaders. These processes go way beyond the scope of what we can discuss here. Just know that they are continually on the lookout for foreign invaders and ready to strike at any time. early induced responses is known as inflammation. Inflammation is the final process of innate immunity we're going to look at today. Many of you are familiar with this response, but may have only heard of the dangers it can pose. Inflammation can eliminate infection or hold it in check until specific acquired immune responses have time to develop. Infection often results in tissue damage, which may trigger an inflammatory response. We are probably quite familiar with the signs of inflammation, which include pain, swelling, redness, and fever, which are induced by chemicals released by a type of white blood cell called macrophages. Inflammation is actually a healthy protective immune response. However, when chronic inflammation exists in the body, chronic disease develops. The second line of defense is called acquired immunity. Acquired is named as such because you are not born with this form of immunity. It is acquired through exposure to pathogens. This line of defense is acquired from exposure to an infection or disease, also acquired from another person's antibodies. It is well established that persons who contract certain diseases and survive generally do not catch those illnesses again. This is made possible through the mechanisms of acquired immunity. When your immune system is exposed to a pathogen, it learns to recognize it and can make your immune system better equipped to fight off that type of germ the next time you're exposed to it. Acquired immunity is dependent upon the specialized white blood cells known as lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are the cells responsible for the body's ability to distinguish and react to an almost infinite number of different foreign substances. Lymphocytes originate from stem cells in the bone marrow and can travel and multiply in response to appropriate stimulation. If you've heard the terms T cells or B cells, these are referring to different types of lymphocytes. Both T and B cells recognize and help eliminate foreign molecules, but they do so in different ways. Lymphocytes are distinguished from other cells by their capacity to recognize foreign molecules by means of receptor molecules. A receptor molecule is a special protein whose shape is designed to fit foreign molecules. Think of these molecules as a key that fits into a lock. Any foreign material that binds specifically to a receptor molecule is called an antigen. Antigens include molecules found on invading microorganisms, such as viruses, bacteria, protozoans, and fungi, as well as molecules also located on the surface of foreign substances, such as pollen, dust, or transplanted tissue. Certain antigens can induce an immune response when they bind to a receptor molecule. One of the many incredible abilities of the immune system is that it keeps a record of every microbe it has ever defeated. This enables the immune system to recognize and destroy the microbe quickly if it enters the body again before it can multiply and make you sick. However, some infections, like the flu and the common cold, have to be fought many times because so many different viruses or strains of the same type of virus can cause these illnesses and the same symptoms. Therefore, being exposed to a cold or flu from one virus does not give you immunity against the others. Memory and record keeping is how we acquire immunity through vaccinations. The immune system is triggered by a small amount of an illness to produce antibodies. This enables the body to quickly launch an immune attack to kill off the virus in future exposures. What we are exposed to dictates our acquired immunity. For example, where we live, vaccinations given after birth, and our exposure to different environmental conditions all impact our ability to fight off various diseases. It is kind of interesting that when I was a youngster, the measles vaccine was developed. And I'm not sure why. I may have maybe had the measles, But I didn't have the vaccine, but everyone else at my age did. And so when we got into college and lived in a dorm, those that had the vaccine actually experienced the measles at the age of 18, 19, 20. And those of us who had actually had the measles, we had our immunity still remaining, and so we didn't get sick. So the interesting thing was, for youngsters, when they have the measles, it's uncomfortable, unpleasant, but generally resolves pretty well on its own, with a few instances where if the child is compromised in some way, it becomes complicated. At 18 or 19 years old, it actually becomes complicated for everybody because their immune system has moved past that stage where they would have expected to be exposed to the measles. And so it's become an adult immune system. It's no longer a child immune system. If you've ever experienced allergies when visiting someplace for the first time, this is due to the exposure of something your system is not already familiar with. Next time you visit, you may not have the same reaction, for which you can thank acquired immunity. Because we are all exposed to different pathogens, we all have unique immune defenses. This means immune systems vary from person to person, as I gave in my example of in the college dorm. While we all have similar innate responses, such as skin barrier, our acquired immunity can be vastly different. In fact, recent studies have found that our history and environment, like where we live and with whom we live, are responsible for 60 to 80% of the differences between individual immune systems, while genetics accounts for the rest. An overactive immune system can result in a number of conditions, including allergies and autoimmune disease. Allergic diseases include allergies to food, medications, or stinging insects, anaphylaxis, hay fever, sinus infections, asthma, hives, dermatitis, and eczema. These conditions result when the immune system makes an overly strong response to allergens. Autoimmune diseases include multiple sclerosis, autoimmune thyroid disease, type 1 diabetes, systemic lupus erythematosus, rheumatoid arthritis, and systemic vasculitis. When the immune system mounts a response against normal components of the body, autoimmune disease is to blame. Now, what I mentioned here was that the immune system appears to be mounting a response against normal components of the body. There is the thought that it may be we aren't able to recognize the full extent of health or the lack of health of cells and tissues. And so possibly the immune system is actually responding to the existence of weakened tissues in the organs and thus creating the overreaction. So it may be as much a problem in the tissue as it is in the immune system being out of balance. An underactive immune system, also known as immune deficiency, does not function correctly and makes people vulnerable to infections. It can be life-threatening in severe cases. Immunodeficiency can be inherited and include conditions such as common variable immunodeficiency, it was abbreviated as CVID, X-linked severe combined immunodeficiency, abbreviated SCID, and complement deficiencies. Immunodeficiency can also arise as a result of medical treatment or be caused by another disease, such as HIV/AIDS or certain types of cancer. Now that you have a more in-depth understanding of the immune system and how it works to protect us, let's take a look at ways to strengthen our immune system. Let's answer the question, what can we do? The ability to boost immune function is complex and continually under study. This is due to the fact that the immune system is a system. It requires balance and harmony among its parts. The interconnectedness of the immune response is very complex. So let's take a look at the effects of lifestyle being researched to give your immune system a boost. Immune boosting tips. Your first defense is to live a healthy lifestyle. Not only will your immune system benefit, but every part of your body will function better by following the following tips. Don't smoke. Eat a diet high in vegetables and fruits. Exercise regularly. Maintain a healthy weight. If you drink alcohol, do so in moderation. Get adequate sleep, which means close to 8 hours as possible. Take steps to avoid infections, such as washing your hands frequently, and try to minimize and reduce the impact of stress. It has been well established that people who are malnourished are more vulnerable to infectious disease. Another group of individuals who are susceptible to micronutrient malnutrition is the elderly. This is because older people tend to eat less and often have less variety in their diets. Micronutrient deficiencies, for example, deficiencies of zinc, selenium, iron, copper, folic acid, and vitamins A, B6, C, and E, may alter immune responses. If you suspect your diet is not providing you with micronutrient needs, I would suggest taking a whole food daily multivitamin and mineral supplement. They may help increase the power of your immune system. Chronic stress is common in today's society, with the exception of the current period of time where we have been in an at-home basis. Our busy schedules and packed social calendars demand more from us than any other time in history. Other stressors, such as we have currently with the coronavirus, and financial burdens and anxiety all contribute to chronic stress. When we experience stress, hormones are released in the body. This is helpful when we're in danger and need to flee safely. However, when under constant stress, these hormones remain present throughout the day. The result of chronic stress leads to a never-ending list of diseases and illnesses, ranging from depression to heart attack. During times of stress, the immune system may also be inhibited. Back about 30 years ago, they did research where they took the willing individuals, test subjects, and they actually placed the rhinovirus right into their nasal passageways. And I forget if there were like 50 people involved in the study. And so they all had the same amount, and they all experienced the rhinovirus being placed in their nasal passages. The interesting thing is they had a variety of responses to the rhinovirus in their nasal passages. Some didn't get sick at all. Some got the traditional level of illness of sneezing and coughing and congestion. Others, it got pretty severe. When they looked at what the common denominator was amongst the test subjects as to what they could correlate to those who became more ill and with those that became less ill, was the amount of stress they were under. So stress has a big impact on reducing the strength of our immune system. So it is therefore important to regularly participate in stress-reducing activities. This is not only beneficial to our overall health, but general immunity as well. I know we have covered a ton of information today. It's possible you have some questions. If so, you can email me at docwhalen@zionsvillechiropractor.com, DOCWHALEN@zionsvillechiropractor.com. And if you need more time to let information sink in, that's okay too. If you wish for information and the references that we referred to in making this webinar, also email me at docwhalen@zionsvillechiropractor.com. I'll be happy to send those references to you. I want to thank you all so much for taking time out on your busy day to join me for this experience. The topic of immunity is vital to health. The more we know about how the body works, the better equipped we are to defend ourselves from disease. If you have any questions in the future, please contact us at docwhalen@zionsvillechiropractor.com. If you'd like to learn more about your health, you can schedule a consultation with me by calling 317-733-9630 or by emailing me at docwhalen@zionsvillechiropractor.com. So now it's your turn. Have a great evening and stay healthy and well.